Hey folks, long time no see. Now, a lot of people have been taking a look at new pictures emerging from behind the scenes of Season 3 of The Flash. It looks like we've got Keenan Lonsdale in the Kid Flash outfit. Also, we're having a mysterious new Speedster in a black and red outfit. There's a lot of things going on here about it, but after going through my extensive library of every Speedster that's ever been in DC Comics, it is my belief I've narrowed down this character. You see, it's the ear points on the ear that actually made me think about where this guy came from and why we had never seemed to see him before. So, with all that in mind, it is my belief I know the identity and the name of this mystery Speedster.
And his name is John C. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't...
Okay, sorry guys, I'm sorry. Now, I'm not doing this to be a dick. Please, before you stop hitting play and unsubscribe, let me explain, because all of it will make sense. Okay. Sorry, I needed to do that, not only because I'm on that kick right now, but it was necessary to complete my BS in basic economics. But no, here's what's going on, guys. See, ever since the behind-the-scenes thing started coming out, everyone's been looking at every part of that suit, breaking it down. We've never seen anything quite like it before. It's black-ish, but the lightning bolt's different. Actually, it looks like John Wesley Shipp's version of Jay Garrick's with an extra notch on it. It's not to the right or the left quite like either one of them. People are suspecting, is it some kind of weird takeoff of Zoom? Is it the Rival? Is it the Black Racer? I've looked into that. I've also looked into others. Red Trinity, Blue Trinity, Savitar, a very big bad guy. Even both a lesser-known DC character named Speed Demon, as well as an amalgam character. See, that's the amalgam that got me thinking. There was a crossover a while back between DC and Marvel called Amalgam that merged several of their books and characters together. One of the more interesting ones was called Speed Demon. This actually merged the Flash, Ghost Rider, and the Demon Etrigan. See, that's what got me thinking about the weird points on the ears looking more like a demon ear. Well, I recognized not only that lightning bolt looking like John Wesley Shipp's Jay Garrick version, but I started to wonder about those ear things. See, I remember a while back, before the Super Friends, in the 60s, there was a Justice League of America cartoon. There was one that had a bad guy in it called Blue Bolt. He was never really in the comics, but he was supposed to be an alien that had the power to turn himself into a living lightning bolt, who eventually also got super speed. He apparently tangled with the Flash, and he was just running rampage. You can look for it on YouTube. And he also had these airfoil things that looked similar to this mystery Speedsters. But like I said, they also looked similar to Etrigan's, the demon's ears and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to call this guy Speed Demon, or Heat Lightning or something like that. I mean, there's so many things it looks like. Heck, he even looks like a partial mix of Black Vulcan from the Super Friends, even though the guy's clearly not black, but the costume is. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they try to do something where this guy effectively, well, there's a reason why I don't think he exists. And it's the same reason why we never saw John Diggle as Spartan in the comics. The same reason we never saw Sarah Lance become White Canary or Black Canary in the comics. It's the same reason that originally in the comics Dr. Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon weren't just helping out the Flash. Simply put, this guy is pieces and bits of other Speedsters, and I think that these guys are doing what writers do, and given this is a brand new reality, given that they're talking about making a Flashpoint, the reason we haven't seen this guy before is because up until now, he didn't exist. It is my belief that this mysterious guy, who's this mystery Speedster, was actually made up for it. Now, I do have a little thing that actually could prove that, a little note there. See, during the Flashpoint universe, yes, there were certain heroes that came about, others that didn't quite make it, and there's one notable one that only seemed to exist in the Flashpoint universe. He was a part of the Resistance, and he was called the Canterbury Cricket. He doesn't exist in standard continuity. He only seemed to exist in Flashpoint, and I could be wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, he never transitioned over from Flashpoint into this reality. In fact, the only things that ever really did transition from Flashpoint to the New 52 was Barry Allen and taking that note from Thomas Wayne to go to give to Bruce Wayne. So, my opinion and my belief is that this season of The Flash, as well as having some repercussions with Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and possibly even Supergirl, are going to deal with the ripple effect that this is causing with the multiverse. Now, it's the same thing we also saw with Barry being able to throw lightning. That was something that was never really in the comics before. So they're making something up, and I'm guessing that in this alternate Flashpoint reality, that's why we have Wally West in the costume, and this other guy is part of that reality. Basically, it's just another reality, another timeline. And this got me thinking also about the ripple effect about alternate realities and competing for space. Now, from Season 2 of The Flash, we learned that Zoom came from Earth 2, at least that's what we're calling it. But when we found out about John Wesley Shipp's version of Jay Garrick actually being from another Earth, they considered Earth 3. Here's my theory here. This actually does have a ripple effect to the entire multiverse. Now, what if, due to what happened here, normally Jay Garrick's, John Wesley Shipp's version would have actually made contact, but they call it Earth 3. What if that was supposed to originally be Earth 2? But just because Hunter Zolomon's Earth made contact first, that became more like Earth 3. That's why we never got anything like the Crime Syndicate or Johnny Quick. We had Zoom instead. That's why so many of the Earth 2 doppelgangers went evil. It was the same thing as the Crime Syndicate's Earth, and that's what we got instead. Now, it's still possible the Crime Syndicate Earth might be out there. We still might have an evil Johnny Quick and stuff, but effectively, since virtually everyone on the other Earth had some differences and in most cases went dark side, pun intended, I think that this season's going to deal with the ramifications of not only shunning the timeline, but alternate timelines and realities coming into contact with each other. Now, if you remember the season finale of Season 2 of The Flash, Zoom was powering up a Speed Force energized pulsar to send a shockwave through the multiverse, destroying all of the realities except for Earth 1 in there. That's their Earth Prime, essentially, according to that, or Earth 0, as it were. That would remain. But, as we also saw, Earth 1, a lot of the 52 portals were just condensed in the central city. On Earth 2, they were scattered throughout the universe. So it's like the farther it got, it had a bigger ripple effect. And yes, the speed cannon pulsar was stopped thanks to a time remnant. That's another thing that was never really comic before, but the time remnant power of Barry stopped it before it reached critical mass. But it was creating an opening. You know how we got the red sky going on there? In DC realities, they refer to something called the bleed. This is the dimensional barrier between realities. It's kind of like an artery system that kind of keeps things between. In Doctor Who, they would call it the void. The bleed is not only something that exists between realities, but it's also a way to travel to them. The Speed Force can also access this. Now, keep in mind that the farther away we got from the Earth that the Flash had, the ripple effect from the particle accelerator and quite possibly the speed cannon, I keep calling it that, the pulsar, did have an effect. What if it didn't destroy the multiverse? But what if it did have an effect weakening it, cracking it? In some cases, even doing some serious damage to realities out on the farthest fringes of it. So it didn't destroy the multiverse, but it may have very well weakened it. Now, because of this, something's going to happen. Barry's more than likely going to be working to try to fix it, and when he does, he's going to have to probably suture not only his reality, but another one back together into it. That's probably going to be how we get Supergirl to get into the DC universe of Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and The Flash. And because of this whole timeline thing, it's quite possible. I'm also hearing that John Wesley Shipp's possibly going to become a regular, as well as Matt Ryan. And so it looks like if this Jay Garrick is in fact part of the same Justice Society of America, then they're from Earth 3. And somehow that Earth 3 may have actually originally supposed to have been Earth 2, and that's changing. So, first season we dealt with metahumans and time travel. Got plenty of that. Second season of The Flash we got metahumans, time travel, and alternate Earths. And now I think this is going to be the season that's going to show, listen, stupid, there are some things you can fix, other things you can't. You can't just go around breaking time because all of these realities are going to try to force themselves into the same space. Like a mini crisis or a 0 hour, if you will. So I think that what happened did actually set things up. As a matter of fact, now a lot of people are hoping that this Flashpoint effect is also going to happen on Arrow. Things are going to change around, and when they reset, all the problems that they've had are going to be erased. We're going to get Laurel back. That will be fantastic. I would certainly like that. But I start to wonder, if they were calculating this from the jump with the Flash, is it something that they were preparing from the start to happen? To reset and reboot things, to keep some things that worked and disregarding others? Or is this also something that they're planning on to see how badly certain things were and try to smooth that over, try to fix the problems that may have happened because of Guggenheim? See, that's the thing that gets me. They're either brilliant or they're trying to fix very, very big mistakes. And this mystery speedster, whoever the heck he is, he may probably just be a one-shot. He may just be created for the show, just like Blue Bolt was in the 60s cartoon, just like the Canterbury Cricket was in Flashpoint. But it's also possible that the way reality has been warped and weakened, these different realities, including parts of Flashpoint, this alternate reality, may try to bleed through. See, that's the other thing that time remnants have shown. If you've ever been a part of, outside of normal time, if you've ever gone into the Speed Force or through a portal, then you've been removed from time, which means you're not affected if anything happens in that reality. This is how, basically, because it happened in another reality, a version of Barry Allen did go to the Earth, and that Kara Zor-El did. That did happen. That didn't affect reality, but what Barry did by going back and creating the Flashpoint universe, that time boom is going to have a big ripple effect. Couple that with the instability that I think that Zoom's Pulsar did, I think that's going to be the shakeup that's going to cause everything that's going to be crossing over in the multi-episodic crossover and merging of the realities. So, don't think of this mystery speedster as a big FU to the fans while we sit here doing their work for us, while we wait for the next sizzle reel to come out, the first teasers and stuff, and we're sitting here Googling trying to find this mysterious black and red highlighted speedster doing a 5-knuckle shuffle on Google. See, John Cena references, see? I haven't watched wrestling in freaking years, but at least that John Cena meme is still hilarious. So, I could be wrong. They're probably going to call him something like Speed Demon or something like that, and it may just be a generic thing, or they may, once again, just take a name and recycle it. Kind of like what they did with Hunter Zolomon. I'm not saying that version of Zoom wasn't badass. It was. But it wasn't the same thing from the comics. Didn't get his powers from the time stream. They changed stuff around for the show. That's what I believe we're going to be getting with this mystery speedster. But even if the timeline is reset, I think we're still going to get to see more of him. So we're going into territory here where these guys are having fun with it. We know so much about the history of all these characters. They are going to introduce things into it that are familiar. But in other cases, they're going to just try to throw us for a loop. And it is my opinion, this mystery speedster is exactly that. They're just screwing with us, but not for nothing. They're getting us excited. They're getting us hyped. They're reminding us that we want to see The Flash and the shows come back this season. But I think that's going to be the setup for it. So this mystery speedster, you can call him Heat Lightning or Speed Demon or whatever the heck you want to call him. Call him Pookie for all I care. But like I said, it was the ears that reminded me of Etrigan the Demon, Speed Demon, Blue Bolt, and Savitar, and all those other things that was the weird little parts that kind of got me. So I think they're trying to go with something like that, and it could be they're trying to make this guy in this reality. Maybe Wally became the Flash, and this is his equivalent of his reverse. Maybe they're going to call him the rival. I don't know exactly. But whatever it is, I think that the reason we don't recognize him is they're taking bits and pieces of other speedsters, throwing them together, and we just have to wait and see. They're recycling so many parts, this guy might as well be a brand new character. At this point, all I have to do is just wait for them to slap on a new name. And of course, I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to it. So, once again, sorry about the little FU thing with the John Cena thing, but like I said, sometimes the simplest answer is the honest one. I think they just made this guy up for the show. They're doing it to throw us off a little bit, to keep us on our toes. Or they're going to recycle some names and stuff, but every part of him is recycled from another speedster. He's a freaking jigsaw puzzle of speedster characters. So that's why we never saw him before. At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Please like, comment, subscribe, share, pass this bad boy around. I don't plan on doing a lot of screw arounds and FU things like that with that video again. It was too good not to. So I apologize to anyone I might have ticked off. It was all meant in good, clean fun. And now, if anyone wants to take that and screw around with other fans on there, I'm sure they're going to. But I had a good reason for it. I think that's the reason why we haven't seen it, and I think that's the whole theme that's going to be going into Season 3 of The Flash and the ripple effect we're going to have with all the other shows. So, please, tell me what you guys think. Good to be back, and keep an eye on. I'm going to be making other videos coming up here in the near future. I know I still have to make one for Supergirl and who or what is in the rocket ship, and just other little stuff here and there when I ever get certain news. So, don't worry. Dave's still here. Dave's coming back, and you're going to get to see him play more. So, until next time, Dave signing off. Peace. Yum, yum.